Welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. Engineers at the Ghana Highways Authority have begun the process to redesign the Lapaz stretch of the N1 highway to address the high rate of pedestrian knockdowns that has claimed many lives since it was opened to the public 6 years ago. The road safety enhancement works at Lapaz intersection was prompted by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly after a survey on the safety situation there and it is being supported by the Bloomberg Initiative for Global Road Safety. Mapito Sebidi was there, now reports.
The National Road Safety Commission reports for 2015 show that 1,802 people died from road crashes in Ghana. 1,802 people died.
Accra Mayor Ni Ajayi at the launch of the first AMA road safety reports 2 months ago. Labelled the deadliest intersection in Accra, the Lapaz intersection on the N1 highway has claimed many lives since it was completed 6 years ago. On the average, there are 17,000 pedestrians around this area every hour, according to a safety report published by the AMA. Sarah and her father live at Abeka Lapaz and have to always cross the intersection before getting to work and other destinations. She recounts when her father was knocked down by a vehicle on that stretch.
My daddy himself had an accident here on the road, actually over there, the old Abrante, that place, yes. He was knocked down by a car which tried to cross the pavement. Yes, so that's my experience. And right now, my daddy's his left eye can't see. So the road is actually not helping at all. So I think the overhead over there should have come here instead.
Pedestrians who use this intersection on a daily basis say the distance between the footbridge and the commercial center of Lapaz makes it difficult for them to use the footbridge.
Where the overheads are or the footbridges are, people don't use it. There's a place where everybody wants to pass. So I think that the footbridge should rather be here.
If there could be a means of getting, let's say, a foot overhead here to make it very easier for people to cross, to avoid some of these things.
Well, the AMA, the Ghana Highways Authority and Bloomberg Initiative for Global Road Safety are to provide road safety enhancements. Sam Odankwa is the engineer on the project.
If you currently look at the median width, it's about 1.5 meters, which is not wide enough to accommodate the pedestrian volumes that use the entire section. So one of our proposals is to widen the median refuge from 1.5 meters to about 2.5 meters to accommodate the pedestrian volumes. The other thing we are implementing is to increase the pedestrian signal timing. Currently it is 18 seconds, which is not adequate to be able to undertake a complete cross of a 14-lane intersection. And this pedestrian signal is such that at a point, all the vehicles have to stop for the pedestrians to cross. And so at that point, if you start checking the signal timing, it is only 18 seconds, which is not adequate. And so from our modeling and our computation, we have proposed 41 seconds, which is ideal for a pedestrian to cross safely from one end of the road to the other. The other intervention is also to replace the crash barriers that have been destroyed as a result of collisions. And so those interventions are also to be put in place. One other feature we are also introducing is the fact that at locations where pedestrians are crossing, the curbs are supposed to flush with the surface of the road. But currently, you see that at specific locations, these curbs are at a high height. And so once a pedestrian crossing the road hits his foot against it and falls, that isn't safe. So we are ensuring that these curbs are lowered at locations where pedestrians are crossing. Other features are also to remark the road line markings, because these communicate to road users as to where to cross, which lane to use, etc. We are doing everything possible to ensure that this intervention or this process is completed by the time scale. The reason is we can't afford to wait any longer, because each day passing by, there is something significant that takes place here.
The project is expected to be completed within 68 working days. The race against time and to save lives begins Monday, the 12th of September, 2018. For JoyNews, I'm Mapito Sebidi.
Now, that intervention may sound like good news. Well, will it be enough to deal with the problem that the constituents have faced for 6 years? Joining us for more is safety expert Nanaya Wakwada. Nanaya, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. What do you make of this intervention?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to your viewers. Would you repeat your question?
I wanted to find out what you make of this intervention. Will it be enough to deal with the problem that the people have had to deal with over the years?
Okay, thank you. Basically, we must understand that the N1, which was commissioned in 2012, is a 14-kilometer stretch. And the press release is making reference to just the Lapaz intersection. While that portion is also significant on the road, on the stretch, it's important to appreciate the fact that this 14-kilometer stretch, within just a year after its commissioning, claimed 200 lives, involving over 500 vehicular crashes. And all the 200 did not come from the Lapaz intersection. So there are other interventions that the state must put in place along the 14-kilometer stretch in order to significantly reduce the incidence of casualties on that stretch. We have seen also in Accra, just in Accra alone, 60% of road crashes on highways in Accra alone, 60% of those road crashes occurred on the N1. That's very, very instructive to know that 60% of road crashes on major highways in Accra have occurred on the N1. So it's indeed, let me call it a troublesome stretch that must be attended to. This engineering measure that they are putting in place alone, while it is desirable, it is not enough. We must also embark on intensive education of both motorists and pedestrians. We need to have a sustained enforcement of road laws on our roads, and in particular the N1. That will make, if you like, will bring us to speed with all happenings on the road. But making engineering interventions is okay, but there are other interventions also that must be made on that stretch.
Nanaya Wakwada there. Nanaya, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. He's the Executive Director of the Bureau of Public Safety.